There was one major headline that circulated all throughout the news today, caught everybody's attention early in the morning, and then no one has stopped talking about it since, and that is Tony Pauline saying that there are 3 names the Pittsburgh Steelers are pursuing aggressively as they look to add a wide receiver before the trade deadline, which is Tuesday, November 4th at 4 p.m. Excuse me. Obviously, the most important thing that will happen on November 4th by 4 p.m. Those 3 names: Mike Williams of the New York Jets, which is no surprise to anybody; Darius Slayton of the New York Giants, which is no surprise to anybody; and Courtland Sutton of the Denver Broncos reemerges, is back on the market for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We were asked about a rumor yesterday. I said, I don't believe that there's a shot that he will be available for the Pittsburgh Steelers, simply because the Denver Broncos are still in the running for this. So I, reached out to some people in Denver. I got absolutely nowhere with anything. So I called Old Reliable. That Old Reliable was my dad. And I said, hey, you're a Denver Broncos fan. Would they trade Courtland Sutton even though that they're hunting for the playoffs? And he said, I don't know what they would do, but none of it makes any sense. And I said, all right, that's a yes. We're here. We've done this. The Denver Broncos would presumably put Courtland Sutton on the market. You hear those 3 names. I got a lot of thoughts. My first is Mike Williams is where the bar starts, and I believe Courtland Sutton is where the bar ends. You start high, finish low. So if you're shooting for the moon, you're going Courtland Sutton and saying this is the best of the best available right now. Why not make it happen? We're just going to try. We're going to shoot for the stars and hope that we, at bare minimum, land on a cloud, even if that cloud is very light and very close to the earth. We're gonna try to make it happen. Number 2 is Darius Slayton, and this one comes with so much to talk about. I mean, the New York Giants apparently want to get blown away with an offer for a guy who's on the last year of his contract, and the Giants stink. That doesn't make any sense to me. But at the end of it all, with the trade deadline approaching, typically guys who are on the market for the must be blown away price tend to go for a little bit less, because by 4 p.m. on Tuesday, teams start to realize, oh, okay, look, we're 2-5. Let's just take what we could get at the end of this. We tried to kind of, weasel our way into a bigger deal. It didn't really work out. I could see Darius Slayton's price tag being here today and maybe here or here by Tuesday, which makes life much easier and makes much more sense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Mike Williams is okay, we tried everything we could try. We did everything we can do. Let's just go get Mike Williams and hope that it works out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. But to add to that one, Allen Lazard went on IR today with, I believe, a chest injury. So he's out at least 4 weeks. You got to guess that the Jets are still looking at this and saying, well, Mike Williams is now our 3. Again, the good part there is you fall to 2-7. I mean, without a head coach, your quarterback isn't doing it anymore. He's definitely on the last leg of his career. At that point, is it over? Like, do you just trade everybody just to trade everybody? Doesn't really matter. I think it's 3 tiers. You start with Courtland Sutton. That's where the phone calls should be. It ends with Mike Williams, which is where the conversations should end. Do you feel any differently about where the Steelers should go if these are the 3 names that we should now be watching out for?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my head, and honestly, it's kind of been going through my head for the first 6 minutes after I started thinking about Courtland Sutton, is just I got stained in my head. It's been a while. It's been a long while since we've been talking about Courtland Sutton. That was one of the players that we were talking about in the offseason, right? And all of a sudden, it looked like the Denver Broncos, they were going to figure it out contract-wise. He was going to stay in Denver. And now they are a playoff team, but now his name pops up once again. So it has been a while since Courtland Sutton's kind of been in this conversation. I'm glad he's back in it, because right now, of these 3 names, I agree with you. He is the name that, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, he moves the needle the most out of these 3. But I don't hate the Darius Slayton thing. We talked about that a couple days this week, simply because, I mean, he torched the Steelers secondary on Monday night. So when you see it that up close in person, you have to imagine that so too did Omar Khan. So too did Zach Azzani and Arthur Smith, and Mike Tomlin said, that guy wouldn't look bad. And
Not
that guy
terrible.
might actually help our cause. That might be what we're looking for. But I do think that, once again, Mike Williams, you mentioned, if you land on a cloud, it might be close to earth. The way that he has performed over the last couple of seasons, plus the injury history, I
Yeah.
think that's more fog than a cloud.
Yes. Yes. You got me twice there. You got me 2 times in that little spiel. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. And for any that you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with just a few taps. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all accounts, easily creates a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track, and sees your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going. Get alerts if your bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over your budget. And the new goals feature automatically saves money for you without you even having to think about it. Whether your goal is to pay off your credit card debt, put away money for a house, or just build your savings, Rocket Money makes it easy. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you, sometimes up to 20%. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions. They could save members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/allsteelers. That's rocketmoney.com/allsteelers. rocketmoney.com/allsteelers. Yes, I agree with you. I don't think it moves the bar much, to be honest with you. Like you here's the thing with Mike Williams. People will say, well, why would you even make a trade? Well, if you could get him for a 6th-round pick, you make any trade. Who cares? And if Deontay Johnson's going for a pick that essentially moves the Carolina Panthers up like 4 spots in the 6th round, that's what they did. Did you see that? You're giving up a 6th-round pick, which will be the first pick in the 6th round for Deontay Johnson, and a 5th-round pick from the Ravens, which means that you go from 33 to like 24. As David Tepper, man, shout out. If Deontay Johnson is going for a 5th-round pick, then Mike Williams is going for a 6th or a 7th. He's not going for much, if anything at all. It's just to get rid of him so that we could make a move and add something, because at this point we just need to do anything we can and sell as much house as possible so that next year maybe is a little bit better and we can restart this in a different light. And I mean, I don't know. That's where we stand right now. But at the same time, Mike Williams, and maybe I'm wrong here, Mike Williams, in my eyes, kind of has Super Bowl winning catch written all over him. Just has McCole Hardman, didn't do anything all year, and then boom, makes that. But Juju Smith-Schuster, boom, wins the Super Bowl for the Kansas City. He just has that written on him. That, you make a move from a bad team, and he stays pretty quiet, and then Russ finds him in the back of the end zone with 1:30 left, and there it is. Mike Williams goes down in Pittsburgh Steelers history. Like he just kind of has that written on him, which is not a needle mover. But if the rest of your team could get you there, I mean, okay, and I'd feel okay about the rest of this team getting them there, at least giving them a shot to get there, and then Mike Williams doing something somewhere along the way. I don't know. Would you take these 3 names, or at least any of these 3 names, over a guy like Adam Thielen?
The problem with Thielen is, if this was before his injury this year, I'd say undoubtedly. Right now, we're not sure how healthy he is. He's a participant in practice this week for the Panthers, but at the same time, he has been out for the past, I believe it's 4 or 5 weeks. You just don't know where you're getting at this point. And I guess it's the same thing with Mike Williams. I mean, how much does he raise the bar? I don't know. So I think I'd probably put him in kind of the same category right now as Mike Williams, and I would still put Slayton and I would still put Courtland Sutton above Adam Thielen. But if Thielen comes out and he plays at the top level of his game, I know he's a little bit older now, but if he plays, similarly to what we've seen of him in Carolina, I think it helps a little bit. I don't think it moves the needle again as much as those other two names we already talked about.
I agree. I agree. I think overall, Adam Thielen is the best of the group outside of Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton's the one. You know, if you could get Courtland Sutton, that's the guy. He's been the guy for a long time. I mean, we were talking Courtland Sutton makes more sense than Brandon Ayuk at times. That was conversations we were having. Courtland Sutton, I mean, he fits the Steelers offense. He's physical. He's an outside option that runs shorter routes or could be a deep threat. That's what you're looking for. He's essentially Van Jefferson, but much better. And he's younger, and he's got another year on his deal. I mean, that is the perfect scenario for the Pitts. And that deal is not expensive. I think next year he makes like $18 million. That's the perfect situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Adam Thielen would, again, just like you said, if he's healthy, and if you could get him back and you feel good that he's healthy, if you could make a trade in time to where he could come here, get a physical, see if he passes that physical. If he doesn't pass it, you have time to go get a Darius Slayton or a Mike Williams, then yeah, I mean, who would be against Adam Thielen? But if he's not healthy, he's not worth anything, you know, and if he's going to continue to get hurt, he's not worth anything. And that's not what the Steelers are looking for. They need somebody who could come in here and contribute. I think Thielen's a guy that if he was healthy enough, if he could come in here, your doctors felt good enough about him, because they do. Like, the Steelers would not make a trade and say, "Oh, you don't need to come pass a physical." No, you would come and they would stare at every part of your body and figure out what the chances of you getting hurt again are this season. And if that's good and they feel good about it, like he's somebody that could come in clutch in such key moments, and you'd expect him to come in clutch in such key moments. But just like you said, he's hurt, and I just don't know if he is healthy. And you kind of get the sense that he is not. They make a move. Let's go tiers. That's how we'll finish this conversation off. They get Courtland Sutton. You could give me a quick hitter here. Does it raise their bar to any further or closer to a Super Bowl contender?
That puts them in the top 2 or 3 in my eyes. Right now, I put them in the top 5. I think they solidify as a top 2 or 3 if they get Sutton.
Darius Slayton
keeps them right where they're at.
And Mike Williams
makes no impact at all.
I agree. We'll see what happens. Tuesday's coming fast. Those are the 3 names to watch, according to Tony Pauline. We'll see. Courtland Sutton on that list is very interesting. And whoever asked that question yesterday that we said, I don't know, I haven't heard those rumors. You were ahead of the game, my friend. So shout out to you. Head of the game.